Richician!
Hey YouTube, Richician84 here, and I'm back again with an even better top 10 video than the last one. My top 10 greatest Yu-Gi-Oh! Achievements. I don't know why I didn't think to do this last year when I was celebrating 20 years since I got into the game. But, oh well. But yeah, I think I did this top 10 like back in 2019, but since that's gone, this is pretty much a redo. So, yeah, it speaks for itself. Let's kick this off. Starting off at number 10, beating mermales with Evil Ubel Hero. Oh yeah, that's right. Now this was back in like 2015, like between the time it was meta and the time it showed up again in big events in 2016. But yeah, mermales just generally not easy to beat. It's not something I would win against very often, except in this case. Now, Evil Ubel Hero isn't exactly one of my better hero decks, but yeah, I fancied trying my luck against them for the fun of it, and yeah, it was quite funny how it went down. Yeah, I was playing against one of my friends from DU, Connor, so he won game 1 very easily. In game 2, I sort of got the upper hand late game, and I think I sort of won by pure luck more than anything, because I had both a Malicious Fiend and Armageddon Knight on the field, and my Armageddon Knight was wide open, and he did get out a big monster, not as big as Malicious Fiend, but still quite big enough. And I remember he tried to attack Armageddon Knight, but instead was forced to attack Malicious Fiend, due to Malicious Fiend's effect. So yeah, that actually won me the game. So I kind of won that one by accident. And in my defence, like, I actually forgot about that effect as well. And then as for game 3, I actually can't remember how I won game 3. But I guess I was just able to play through whatever he did. So yeah, that was quite an achievement. Although, to be fair, there was no extra deck in that mermail deck for some reason. So I guess that sort of contributed towards my win. But hey, a win's a win. Yeah, a very casual deck beating something competitive. I'll take it. So now we move on to something similar. Number 9, defeating True King Dinosaurs with Neospatians. And this, of course, was back in 2017. Like, this was like just before Lynx came into the game. So, obviously, at the time, Neos Fusion obviously didn't exist yet. So again, Neospatians were just a gimmicky casual deck. But I took it up against a True King Dino deck, a very standard build, but I was able to beat it 2-0. I guess I just opened really good both games and was able to play around whatever he had. Hello.
What's up, YouTube? I'm joking. Hey.
Hey.
Quiet now.
Oh, let me clear up space for you.
That's so weird looking at my reflection like that. It's like I'm on the ceiling. Are you cold?
Oh, I'm alright actually. Yeah, I guess to be fair, a lot of luck was involved in this one as well, but it was just so amazing. Again, just defeating a competitive deck with something really casual. Yeah, again, that's just an achievement in itself, even if it was just in a casual game. Would have been more impressive if it was a tournament game, but don't worry, something similar will come up later. Spoiler alert. Number 8, qualifying for the Summer Cup Store Final back in 2007. This was just back in the days when I actually wanted to go to a major event. And this one that was currently on was, of course, the Summer Cup, which was one of the events that Upper Deck Entertainment did before they disappeared. Now, I did mention this story quite a few times, but yeah, I was trying with both Dark Magician and my generic warriors to qualify for this. First attempt with Dark Magician didn't quite work out, even though I made top 8. The second attempt was very successful. Used my warriors, got into the top 8 and made it all the way to the top 2 to face another old Pharaoh's elite friend, Callum. And as I mentioned in another video, whoever would make the top 2 in these events would automatically qualify for the store final. So yeah, we managed that. So it didn't really matter who won the event. But yeah, I was glad that I was able to achieve this after just working hard to get to this stage. So yeah, it was a really fine achievement, and of course this led to another achievement, which was getting my 3rd ever tournament win. And then, as I explained, qualified for the store final, played in the final, and finished 3rd. And well, as I mentioned in the top 5 video I did about being screwed out of playing in a major event, I should have qualified for like the main final, because G's place should have been passed down to me, but it just wasn't, because Konami, not Konami, Upper Deck were just being stingy about it. But still, it was a great achievement. Number 7, qualifying for the Pharaoh's Tour Final twice. Once in 2005 and again in 2007. Now, this was the first big major event I'd ever qualified for, even though I never went to it. Now, I did go over this already in that top 5 video as well, but you know, again, like I said, first time, it was just I guess a communication error, and as I explained before, I wasn't warned in advance that there was a form to sign in order to get an invite. And then the second time in 2011, there was also some confusion, because one person said I did qualify, then someone else said I didn't, and then like a few days before the actual event, I did get an invite in the post. I was like, oh, I did qualify, but as I said, I was just too late to do any prep for it because it was just too short notice. But still, even though I didn't go to either of these events, it was just a really fine achievement being able to qualify for both of them.
It's okay, I'm just a bit bummed there's my drinks over there and I want it.
It's alright, I'll get it real quick.
Oh, thank you. It's only because I don't want to climb over you.
It's okay, it's not a problem.
Hey, do you want a bit of that?
No thanks, I'm good. I think our dinner was very filling.
I didn't eat much of it. It was really spicy, man.
If you're wondering what we had, it was, what was it, a sausage pasta?
Yeah, sausage and peas, like pasta with like tomato paste and garlic, peas obviously.
And a lot of chilli.
Yeah, because I spilled the pack. I opened up the lid and it went in there, and then it went all over the floor as well, and it was too much. So I'm going to use less of that next time.
Well, I still enjoyed it,
Yeah.
even though my mouth was burning up. So anyway, yeah, that's the Ferris Tour qualifier. Number 6, going to the UK Nationals in 2011. Well, I did mention this already, but yeah, it was open invite that year. Didn't need to qualify in a regional or anything. You could just turn up. And that was something I did want to do for about 6 years by that point. Just go to the UK Nationals, play an original deck, do the best I can, and just try and make my mark. Although I feel like there wasn't much of one to make. I mean, the day was enjoyable for what it was, but it was just like overrated, I think.
Summer lives, and thunderstorms as well. Got the lightning.
Jesus Christ. Despite this, I didn't want to pass up a chance to go to the Nationals. So, yeah, as I mentioned before, I went there with Derek, Timby and Davies. Went along with Legendary Hero, but of course, as I explained before, I only won one match with it, which was against Nordics. I feel like there was one other matchup I should have at least won against, which was Black Wings, but got unlucky. Whereas the other ones, Gravekeepers, Six Samurais and Macro Monarch, were just terrible matchups. Still, it was what it was, but still, even though just turning up to the UK Nationals just like that doesn't sound like much of one, it's still an achievement in a way, just going to the biggest event in the country, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise, that is. Number 5, defeating Demise OTK with Neospatians. Now, this was during the first time I played my Neospatians in a tournament, and back when Demise OTK was still pretty much meta, even though by that point we were seeing more of Light Swarms, Gladiator Beasts and Dark Return more than anything else. But Demise OTK was still around despite the hits that it got. But yeah, in this event, I entered with Neospatians, even though at the time it wasn't exactly one of my better decks. But I wanted to anyway, just for the fun of it. And I managed to make it to the top 8, just by luck, obviously, and faced off against it in the top 8, which was being played by Derek. Now, he did beat me with that deck in one of the rounds of Swiss, but then of course we faced off again, and this time I was able to do a lot better, especially when there were a couple of times where a Neospatian Dark Panther actually copied the effect of Demise, and it helped me win. So that was just incredible. But yeah, by doing so, I was able to win the match 2-1, and that was the first and maybe only time, I don't know, that I actually won against Demise OTK. It was just brilliant, and I got into the top 4 of that event. I mean, already just making top 8 with Neospatians was just an achievement in itself. I honestly didn't expect to top with that deck, but I did, and then got into top 4, and then I lost against Macro Monarch. Fuck my life. Oh well, it was still fun. And continuing the subject of Neospatians, this brings me to number 4, beating ABCs with Neospatians. Now, again, this was from another time, from before Neos Fusion existed, and this was still during Master Rule 3, and actually happened like 5 months or so before the True King Dino matchup. But yeah, this time this was in an actual tournament, and I entered Neospatians because at the time I was doing a challenge with my top favourite 18 decks at the time, just entering them in tournaments and Royal Rumbles respectively, just to see how I do. Now, I was kind of hoping to avoid using Neospatians in a tournament, as the... What the fuck was?
It's alright, Instagram's messing around. Oh, there we go.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to my pitch stop.
Yeah, what I was mainly aiming for was to play in a tournament with Red Eyes Black Dragon, because statistically, Red Eyes Black Dragon is better, or at least it was at the time. But yeah, I was hoping to play in a Royal Rumble like a few nights before at game night, but there wasn't enough time, so that's what I went with. But I didn't do too badly though. I did lose 2 other games, but I did win against someone else. Don't remember who it was against, because we're talking like late 2016 here, so it had been a while. But yeah, the last round was against an ABC player, so it did win game 1 with no problems. But game 2 I was able to turn the tide of the duel in my favour, mainly with some help from Elemental Hero Grand Neos. And I was able to just do some damage to him beforehand, but don't remember what it was with, but regardless, Grand Neos helped me win, and then came game 3. It was just unbelievable how things went down. Now I can remember all the moves that were played here, so he goes first, and manages to set up a board of Dragon Buster. I can't remember if he had anything else, but he definitely had ABC Dragon Buster, and then come my turn he flipped up Anti-Spell Fragrance, which was really, really annoying for me, because I opened with almost all spells, and Neospatians need their spells to be able to play, but all I could do was set all these spells and set a monster, which I think was Dark Panther. Oh no, wait, I did have Gamma Seal in hand, I think. I mean, I don't think I used it though, because one of the cards I had set was System Down, which is arguably the best counter for ABC, so so that was all I did. I didn't get another monster out, but he did banish one of my cards, which thankfully wasn't the system down. Then he banished another one, which wasn't the system down. And then he attacked the Dark Panther and just ended his turn. But then on my turn, I was finally able to do something. So I flipped up system down, paid £1,000 to make him banish all the machines that he controlled and was in his graveyard, but he was able to counter it with Book of Eclipse, which was a bit annoying. So I was forced to actually tribute the Dragon Buster for Gamma Seal, and then play a load of my spells that I was forced to set. Let's see, if I remember correctly, I did get Prisma onto the field, use his effect, reveal one of my Neos fusions, send Neos to the graveyard, then I think I flipped up Oversoul and brought it back, and then I flipped up Neospace, and then attacked Gamma Seal with Neos, then attacked with Prisma, and I believe on the guy's following turn he just scooped up. Yeah, that was it. Neospacians beat ABCs, which, don't forget, at the time was one of the top decks in the meta. So, yeah, I was pleased about that. I didn't think I'd win against ABCs with Neospacians, not in a million years, but I managed it. I'm pointing out again that this was long before Neos Fusion existed. Number 3, reaching 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay, so I don't know whether or not this one really counts, although technically, if it hadn't been for Yu-Gi-Oh, I wouldn't have found out about YouTube. And I found out about YouTube through my friend Brendan, who of course I met through Yu-Gi-Oh. Now, even though I didn't make an account or even do videos right away, I would of course go on to do that in 2007. And then of course, after almost 5 years of doing it, I reached 1,000, and then 6 years later, 2018, I reached 2,000 subscribers. So that was just formidable, getting that many. I wasn't even sure I ever would get that many, but I did. Well, I know it doesn't sound much compared to getting like 10,000 or a million or whatever, but for some of the smaller YouTubers and YouTubers, that's still a great achievement, reaching 1,000 followed by 2,000. Number 2, winning a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Now, ever since I started dabbling in the competitive side, I did want to win a tournament, like a lot. Obviously that was hard to do, like in the earlier days, since I was just an amateur who didn't know any better at the time. I still tried anyway, but obviously with a lot of advice, I upgraded my deck, got better, learnt more rulings, learnt about more good cards that could help me out, and yeah, I just got a lot better. over time, and then finally at the start of 2007 my time came when I finally won a tournament for the very first time and did it with my generic machine deck. It was just amazing. Wasn't a perfect run in Swiss though, but still good enough. I went 3 wins and 2 losses. My losses being against Russ with that light deck and Tobias with Taxman Burn. But I did win against someone playing Dark Magician, and I think I won against G, but I don't remember what he was playing at the time. And I don't remember who else I won against, but what I do remember was that I faced the Dark Magician guy again in top 8 and won against him, then faced off against Tobias again in top 4, but was able to do a lot better against him, and I even remember summoning Perfect Machine King against him, which was great. It was a spare one that Brendan had, and yeah, this of course was his absolute favourite card, and he actually did make a Perfect Machine King collection, which consisted of 100 ultra, not 100 ultras, 50 ultras and 50 ultimate rares, and he was kind enough to sort me out with one, which I still have to this day. But yeah, Perfect Machine King helped me win the duel I was in, and I did manage to win the match. And then against Russ, I managed to beat him 2-1, and I was like in complete shock when I won. I was like, wait, I actually won the tournament? Yeah, and it was just an amazing feeling. Like, I was just buzzing, and I won that T-shirt, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship one with Uriah on the back, and a Raviel tin, and I've still got that Raviel even to this day. And then I'd go on to win a few other local tournaments, like over the following years, like Dark Magician, Warriors, Prismagician, Elemental Heroes, Rainbow Neos, Blue Eyes White Dragon. I mean, I don't have as many wins as the more competitive players, but still, I've got plenty of wins under my belt, so yeah, I've had my fair share of them, but just that first one was just an amazing achievement. And finally, in at number 1, the greatest Yu-Gi-Oh! Achievement that I have achieved is meeting my future wife.
That's very true. I was glad to meet you too.
Yeah, all the way back in 2011.
And make you my husband. Yeah. We will have the wedding day eventually.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, I don't quite think I pictured us getting married at first, but then earlier on in our relationship I could see it happening.
And further down the line, you could see it from the beginning, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then of course I'd go on to propose on Valentine's Day last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, just decided, right, I'm going to make this official. And I have to...
What?
Are you hiding?
No, I'm putting this on my head. Looks like I'm hiding, don't it?
Yeah, and honestly, you mean more to me than any tournament win.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I do mean it.
Oh no. Yeah.
Love you too.
It's still great when you win, though.
Yeah, it is. Very much so. And yeah, those are my top 10 greatest Yu-Gi-Oh! Achievements ever. Oh, I forgot to do some honourable mentions.
I kind of wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Exactly. And technically, I have Chris to thank for that, since he was the one that got me into the game back in 2003.
It's all Chris then. Really, isn't it? Your little brother.
And also Andy, because he was the one who got me into making YouTube videos after he made some silly YouTube videos himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to thank both my brothers for that one.
Yeah, we will. You two got us together. I'll be like, how? Okay. Soon find out. I love the white background.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I will do these honourable mentions regardless. One of which is forging all the friendships I've achieved with those. I feel like this should actually be on the list. I wasn't sure whether or not to put it on there, but yeah, it is getting a mention regardless. I mean, I already had several friends anyway, like even before getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! But I just gained many, many more, like, over the years that I've played this game. And of course, some of which led to me meeting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of friendships were forged along the way. There's too many people to mention, but yeah, they know who they are. And the other honourable mention is beating Cosmo with both Elemental Heroes and Evil Heroes. This would be in late 2015, back when Cosmo was meta, and naturally I was struggling a lot with it at the time, even with Dark Magician and Rainbow Neos. But eventually, in a casual game, I was able to get wins over Cosmo with Elemental Heroes and Evil Heroes, which was just incredible. Keeping in mind, of course, this was before Evil Heroes got the support in Legendary Duelist 5, like we're talking like about 4 years earlier. Yeah, it was just amazing that I was able to beat it with my more casual decks, I guess. I mean, it was absolutely typical at the time. Like, I was able to beat Cosmo with Elemental Heroes and Evil Heroes, but couldn't beat them with Dark Magician and Rainbow Neos. Like, what the actual hell? Like, they're meant to be two of my stronger decks. It was just ridiculous. Of course, those two decks did beat Cosmo eventually. Yeah, Rainbow Neos did it in that tag team tournament I won with Alex, Brute Boy, and Dark Magician eventually did it in an endurance. Yeah, I would have put this on the list, but I guess it was just the fact that it wasn't a tournament game, and statistically, Elemental Heroes and Evil Heroes are just better than Neo-Spacians and Evil Ubel Hero. But anyway, that's it for the list. Whoops.
Oh well. Feels cold though.
I'm just going to put your drink right here.
Clumsy now.
So, yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.